My daughter does. My daughter does.
We just raised American
Oh, did you? She does high school rodeo. Yeah, it'll be starting back up in March.
Did they knock off last year?
No, I think they had taken maybe one rodeo, not yet. You know, a lot of them are down south. They're down south. A little more. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gillian there in technology. Welcome to the February 11th, 2021 LaSalle County Board. Fourth meeting of December 2020-2021 session. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a roll call for Gillian mileage.
Okay.
Mr. Faber?
Aye, aye.
Ms. McNally?
Aye.
Ms. Pottinger?
Aye.
Mr. Urbanderis?
Aye.
Ms. Owens?
Aye.
Mr. Bershenius?
Aye.
Mr. Small?
Aye.
Ms. Brunel?
Aye.
Mr. Ospinski?
Aye.
Mr. Whitsack? Mr. Savage?
Aye.
Mr. Cassup?
Aye, aye.
Mr. Torres?
Aye.
Ms. Bush?
Aye.
Mr. Stockley?
Aye, aye.
Mr. Emmett?
Aye.
Ms. Corretto?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
He went home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll be calling in shortly.
Mr. Traeger? Ms. Zagnecky?
Aye.
Mr. Dose?
Aye.
Mr. Hicks?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Freeman?
Aye.
Mr. Myers?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Mr. Sedlock? Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Chairman Jensen?
Present. My apologies. Whoever's on web ed, could you please announce yourself?
Jerry Hicks.
Doug Traeger.
Lee.
Joanne Snally. Areta Zanecki.
Joe Ostrapinski.
Thank you. Have a motion to approve roll call for per diem and mileage. First by Ms. Greto, second by Mr. Roach. Was that what we just did? A motion to approve that, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Motion to approve January per diem for board member Michael Cassup, District 12. Roll call, please. Could I have a motion? Ms. Burnell, second, Mr. Small. Roll call, please.
Ms. Burnell?
Aye.
Mr. Ospinski?
Aye.
Mr. Whitsack? Mr. Savage? Mr. Cassup?
Present.
Mr. Torres?
Aye.
Ms. Bush?
Aye.
Mr. Stockley?
Aye.
Mr. Emmett?
Aye.
Ms. Corretto?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh? Not there yet. Mr. Traeger?
Aye.
Ms. Zagnecki?
Aye.
Mr. Dose?
Aye.
Mr. Hicks?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Freeman?
Aye.
Mr. Myers?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mr. Faber?
Aye.
Ms. McNally?
Aye.
Ms. Pottinger?
Aye.
Mr. Vidaris?
He's the one.
Ms. Owens?
Aye.
Ms. Rashidius?
Aye.
Motion carried. Need a motion to approve previous meeting minutes. Go ahead and answer them. First by Mr. Cassup, second by Ms. Bush. Any questions or comments on them? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We have citizen comment by Mr. Scott Drummel.
We'd like to waive comment for you guys tonight.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we have student awards. Okay, first award is Gillian Younger from Northbrook Middle School in Minnesota. 289, Paula Daly, principal. Gillian Younger is an 8th grade student at North York Middle School in Mendota Consolidated School District, number 289. The parents are James and Laura Younger. Gillian's teachers describe her as a sweet young woman who works hard in all that she pursues and would never say no to an opportunity to help. She represents excellent social and civic responsibility. Gillian participates in student council, band, choir, and church youth group. Gillian also played the lead of Matilda in Mendota Education Foundation summer stock production of Matilda. Gillian plans to attend Mendota High School and pursue her love of art, writing, music, and theater. On behalf of the LaSalle County Board, congratulations to Gillian for being named as this month's Student Excellence Award winner. Second student is Abigail Klaus from Ottawa Township High School, district number 140. Patrick Leonard, the principal. Abigail Klaus is a senior at Ottawa Township High School. Her parents are Tim and Kathy Klaus. Abigail is very involved in her school and community. She is a Do Change mentor, plays varsity golf and softball, works, and volunteers. When Abigail was a freshman in high school, she spoke eloquently in front of 1,400 of her peers about the importance of keeping each other safe during a student-led walk-in. Ottawa Township High School Senior Counselor Michelle Schoolman describes Abigail as by far the most polite, respectful, and conscientious student. Abigail plans to major in biology at a 4-year university and to pursue a career as a research biologist. On behalf of LaSalle County Board, congratulations to Abigail for being named as this month's Student Excellence Award winner. Congratulations to both of the students. Next on the agenda, we have a presentation of the annual report by Regional Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Boyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Board. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today and look forward to some sense of normalcy. It's sad to not have the students here be able to do the presentation here in front of everybody and have all the parents and grandparents cram in and take that picture together, but we'll get there. Today I'm here to present the annual report of the work of the regional office throughout the 1920 school year. Different in this report, this is last year's report and there's no real pictures on the cover. And we're trying to put in as many pictures to tell the story and capture the good that we're doing throughout the region. It's had a shadow effect, and this captures last year when March hit and things shifted. We went remote and students needed food and needed opportunity to learn remotely. These are the superstars behind the scenes, the teachers, bus drivers, food service people out doing really cool work for the students in our communities. I'm going to touch on that again later as we get into this report with how we're going to look to honor those individuals. When you go through this report, something else that's different, when you see something shaded blue, we really wanted to highlight, due to COVID, how we've shifted gears to help districts through this strange time. It's really been a journey, and the work really hasn't stopped. I commend not only your administrators leading these districts, but all the staff, teachers that are working hard, and really you get direction and then you take a step back because it may change. Ultimately, the safety of students has been at the forefront of any decisions. In our region, I'm proud to report that all schools have some sense of face-to-face instruction occurring, where that is not true throughout the state. They work hard to get students back in person. The regional office, we are about safety, support, and success, and I think you'll see that throughout this report. And it's truly a partnership with each county board, our schools committee, and then the different entities that we work with. We're able to do a lot of good through the dollars that are provided. And this report will illustrate a lot of those services. On page 3, professional development, you can imagine trying to change techniques and systems in play as we were forced back in March. How are we going to offer instruction remotely and even looking into this school year? Our professional development department worked hard to give teachers the tools, the knowledge to begin remote learning on platforms like Google Classroom, Zoom, Skype, WebEx, and really shifted, overnight work to help schools get the technology in place to start serving students. When I look at administrator meetings, we had plenty of Saturdays and evenings working with superintendents and principals in what was required and what was necessary to have students in person or even to get staff back. The year prior, we were looking under 10 administrator meetings. This jumped up to 22. A lot of work occurring. Bus driver education, buses still rolled in March delivering food and then into the school year, working to train bus drivers. One thing that's not listed here that happened this year, I'd like to share, it's really cool. As we do safety drills with schools, a bus drill is one of the drills that's mandated, but how do you do a bus drill safely? We're trying to maintain distance and trying to keep students safe. Our office produced about a 10-minute bus video that not only captured how to evacuate, but all the dangers and all the safety precautions that students should take on a bus. In the 3 months it's been available, there's been over 44,000 views of that video. It's amazing. It's on YouTube, and I'll share with you where you can see that. But just another service to try to help schools through this time. Page 5, our regional work study program, where students drop out, and we're able to catch them, get them a degree for their home district. We had 28 graduates last year. On page 6, honoring excellence, and many of you have attended our banquet each year in May, where we have about 500 people in attendance. We couldn't do that past year, but we still wanted to do something special for educators. I personally, with my assistant, called each retiree and presented a plaque by delivering that to the school district, but thanked them for the service to education over their careers. We also created 2 videos, unbeknownst to the 2 educators of the year, where we invited them on false pretenses to join us in a Zoom meeting. And during that Zoom meeting, we had their peers join us, and we recognized them with a video production of their work, people saying nice things about what they've done, and then capturing them with their reaction. And we recreated it to share that through our region. So if you go to our YouTube page, Are We 35 Presents, you can see those videos as well as that bus video. But again, just recognizing the great things happening throughout our region. On page 8, our food cooperative, we have about 70 districts that take part in a larger cooperative to get resources, the food products for our districts at a much lower cost. What a change we had from having cafeteria style menus and planning to now bag and go and getting those meals out, breakfast and lunch for all students regardless of income eligibility. Trying to get suppliers to change what they were making, getting bags and other items and getting those available. We worked hard, and we certainly got our students fed. So great work through our food cooperative. 9 and 10, some of the services and work of our office. I think everybody always appreciates the dollars from the state that roll the districts on page 10. These are the state dollars. The expectation from what the governor has released that it'll be level funding for FY22, and that is certainly a hope of the districts. Page 11, our truancy or student service folks have been busier than ever, and I've hooked up to many of you about this work. We normally have about 400 individualized plans. We jumped significantly last year, serving over 500 students. We're on pace this year to have over 700 students served. When you look at the challenges of students having to learn online, becoming disconnected, how do we get them re-engaged? And certainly they're working hard to meet those needs. I just think it's going to be even more of a challenge in the next couple of years. We run a regional safe school, where students are going to be eligible for expulsion at 10. And last year we served 59 students. And I'll wrap up. The last couple pages are I think, caption those pictures. Highlight helpers on page 13. Throughout this pandemic, we've been trying to create a one-stop shop, capturing the good that our school districts are doing in serving our communities. And you'll see, different news clips and items recognizing that work. Educate 35 is a foundation that was started last year and raised over $23,000 to help the neediest of students. One of those initiatives that occurred, the foundation was able to provide 35 Chromebooks to students that didn't have that technology and make those their own. Really cool work, not only technology, but helping feed students that didn't have meals on their tables. I can't be prouder of the work that we've done, and you'll see pictures here of the 32 staff members in my office that do this work. We were recognized by the state board, Superintendent Dr. Kyron Ayala on April 7th, and we were a model of the work we were doing with our student service work in this pandemic. I can't thank you enough for your support. There's a lot of work ahead, but hopefully this pictures and this report shows you some of the cool things that everyone's a part of. I'm glad we take any questions.
Favor?
You said there's 70 school districts in your tri-county area. How many of our schools are fully open and partially open?
So two things I appreciate. First, in our food cooperative, that goes throughout the state, and there's 70 districts that take part. There's 29 public school districts throughout our RW35 region. As far as schools that are fully open, I can get you those numbers. First we have all school districts have at least some type of in-person. Where we're seeing a lot of schools have that hybrid model due to the population. The high schools, Ottawa High School, Elton High School, being prime examples, due to the size of the population, they're worried to put everybody in the building at the same time and maintain distancing. So they run on schedules that have about half the students each day. And we see that occur with some of our larger elementary districts as well. The goal certainly is to get all students in person all the time, but I think the local resources dictate whether or not they're able to do that with the current rules that are in play. But certainly the goal is to get everybody there, but I'll shoot you an email. I'll actually shoot it to everybody where you're at so you can see if you have questions. The problem I have is what I'll send you today might change tomorrow due to COVID.
Mr. Freeman?
Chris, do you foresee potential of snow days being gone in the future with the potential of doing the remote learning, that we could, shift from, having a snow day to the kids pick up your iPads and take the day and use that as a learning day at home?
Yes and no. And why I say that is about 2 years prior to the pandemic, the idea of using e-learning came about, and districts had the ability to plan for 5 days through the course of the year that they could use like a snow day. And so if they had the technology or resources to somehow reach students and still offer 5 hours of instruction, they could theoretically do snow days or emergency days as needed. When we're in this pandemic, anybody at any time could say, if we're in person, we're gonna go to remote tomorrow. Where I say no, currently the ruling is if you have a remote day or an e-learning day, you still have to offer lunch and breakfast to students if you're in the food programs. And so it's a challenge if you don't know the day before that the weather's gonna be bad. How do you get meals to all the students that you're required to do? And so we see districts say that we're gonna still take the snow day because we're not gonna risk bringing food service in. But if they know ahead of time, they have the ability to send that stuff ahead of the day before. And so there's where you probably will see more of it.
Mr. Martin?
How effective is this remote learning? Because I don't think there's no substitute for in-person.
I agree with you, Jerry. across the board and talking to administrators, we would prefer to have students back in person and have the most time with them. Unfortunately, there's just situations, family situations, other situations that make this a reality that we have to find a way to do it and do it well. It's no replacement to having that in-person interaction that we're missing a lot of learning and a lot of ability for students to socialize.
Well, personally, we're experiencing that with our grandson. It's a little frustrating, not for me, but for my wife.
And that's, we worry about the students, and I think I talked before about the hurricanes, Katrina syndrome, and there were studies after that where these students that were lost, were tuned out, and then what are the generational effects? Because they miss learning. And here we have students that aren't tuned in, that don't have active parents or grandparents that are helping out, or just don't learn that way successfully. And so what are we gonna do over the next year or two to find those kids, catch them up, get them back on track, so that we're not gonna have the same, ongoing, there's a way to catch and re-energize, re-engage these students, and that's really gonna be the goal. There is some funding coming to districts this second round of federal dollars, and the priority on those dollars is trying to catch kids up, find them, catch them up. COVID-related expenses, technology, and then you're looking at potentially air quality. How do you make your building safe? So our hope is, and we're working with districts, how can we best utilize those dollars to help students?
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none?
Thank you, much appreciated.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to place the Regional Superintendent of the Schools annual report on file. First by Mr. Meyer, second by Mr. Waldron. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next we have Judiciary annual report. Cleaning. Laura. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Good afternoon, I'll provide the annual report for fiscal year 2020, starting December 1st, 2019 to November 30th, 2020. As far as our probation fees for juveniles in that period of time, we had $12,769 ordered, and we collected $11,622. We had 196 active cases and 49 administrative cases. As far as adults probation fees, we had $131,915 ordered. We collected $74,002.22. 467 active cases, 308 administrative cases in that period of time. As far as expenditures on the probation services fund, we had $242,900 budgeted. We spent $213,719.32. We have a balance of $29,180.68 left over. As far as circuit court and jury, one of the key points there would be the court order child placement. We had $200,000 budgeted. We spent $178,828.76, with a balance of $21,171.24 left. Overall, total budget for that fund is $230,000. We spent $187,385. Income. Realized to date, $1,417,753.75 in the general fund. Probation Services Fund, $112,048.68. Any questions? No? Well, thank you very much for your time.
I'll entertain a motion to place the Judiciary annual report on file. First by Mr. Weddle. Second by Mr. Green. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, we have the detention home annual report.
Alright, here's my annual report for the year. On page 2 for admissions, LaSalle County Juvenile Detention Home completed 61 admissions in 2020. This was a decrease from last year of 52 admissions. On page 5, admissions by race, the average age for LaSalle County juvenile admitted in fiscal year 2020 was 15. Page 11, length of stay. The average length of stay for 2020 for all juveniles admitted in fiscal year was 30 days. This was an increase of 3 days compared to fiscal year 2019. Page 14 is the average daily population. Average daily population for fiscal year 2020 was 5.65 residents per day. And then the income, fiscal year 20, and the balance was $271,906.47. We expended in 2020, $1,720,665.48, and we have a year-end balance of $191,574.52.
Questions? I'll entertain a motion to place the detention home annual report on file. First by Mr. Borshinius, second by Ms. Bush. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, we have LaSalle County Mental Health 708 Board contract.
It will need to be paid, and it goes faster. Okay, so good afternoon. You have copies of our contracts. Before I start, I would like to say there was a typo in North Central's contract as far as the cost per unit is listed as $35.71, and it should have been $25.90. It was typo. Went through 5 people. So, so the 708 board, we have a $2.5 million budget, and our agencies take up $2.3 million of that. So our only income is through interest income, personal property replacement tax, and interest income. We have 9 agencies, and through those 9 agencies, we have 15 programs. And it's very, very important to remember to make sure that our levy is funded so that we can keep the health of the LaSalle County citizens. So what I'm gonna do on the North Central contract is fix it, and we'll have it re-signed and sent over to the county clerk's office.
Any questions? May I have a motion to approve the LaSalle County Mental Health 708 board contract? First by Ms. Brunel. Second by Mr. Freeman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Is there a discussion on the matter?
Sure.
So what should the numbers be now?
Oh, so on North Central, under witness one, section C. So that would be their substance abuse and outpatient program is typed as $35.71 per cost unit. So the cost unit should be $25.90. So what you would do is take the yearly unit, multiply it by the cost unit, and then you'll get your cost per year.
Should we amend, should we just vote to approve as amended? Then, because if we make a motion just to approve it, then it would have been incorrect. So I make a motion to, there's already a motion and a second, so can I amend the motion to approve as amended? Right?
I was gonna make a motion to amend, and then we have to vote on that, and then back to the original one, so you're making a motion to amend?
Probably, yeah. Maybe just say it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
It's all right.
Just a procedural thing, so Brian, motion to amend the motion, contract, section 1, paragraph C. What was the number that you, the 35.71 should be?
Should be $25.90.
25.90? Yes, the motion?
Yes.
You need a second?
Second by Ms. Corretto.
This is on the motion to amend.
On the motion to amend, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Now you're back to the original motion.
Oh.
So you're making a motion to approve as amended.
Yes.
A motion to approve as amended.
I will do that.
First by Mr. Does, second by Ms. Brunel. Any questions or comments? All WebEx, did you get that information?
Yes.
I think it was before I got my new eyeballs.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thanks.
Next, we have land use. Yep.
Petition number 21-01, SU requesting a special use permit under the LaSalle County zoning ordinance. Whereas on January 20th, 2021 at 5 p.m., LaSalle County Zoning Board of Appeals at the County of LaSalle, Illinois, at the public hearing in the LaSalle County Governmental Complex, room 250, 707 East Etna Road, Ottawa, Illinois, pursuant to the notice of the time and place of hearing by publication in the Times of Ottawa, Illinois, met to hear evidence with respect to a petition filed by Dave David Bedecker and Darlene Bedecker, who are requesting a special use to construct a single-family home on less than 35 acres on approximately 3 acres of part of the property owned by them, commonly known as 2175 North Illinois State Route 170, Seneca, Illinois, 61360, and legally described as follows.
Need a motion to approve the 21-01 variance.
I'll make that motion.
First by Mr. Lee, second by Mr. Baker, was it?
The petitioner is requesting a special use for build a single-family home on less than 35 acres. It will be approximately a 3-acre tract located north of an existing residence on the same property at approximately 2175 North Illinois State Route 170. It's located in Brookfield Township. The zoning board of appeals recommended unanimously that the board approve this petition.
Questions? Mark?
Is there any, could it be a 1 acre, 2 acres, 3 acres, or whatever?
So the special use section allows for basically any quantity of acreage less than 35 acres, because that's the minimum in the A1 district. But the subdivision code and the Plat Act dictates the smallest size it can be and how many parcels can actually be split out of a larger parcel. So currently our subdivision ordinance requires a 2 acre minimum with 150 foot of road frontage. And there are some exceptions to that depending on when the original parcel was created.
Any other questions? Now I'll entertain a motion to approve. Sorry.
You already did.
Oh, that's right. Sorry about that. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, I'll entertain a motion, 21-01 for variance for William Bayless, 26-foot reduction in setback.
Whereas on January 20th, 2021 at 5 p.m., the LaSalle County Zoning Board of Appeals of the County of LaSalle, Illinois, a public hearing in the LaSalle County Governmental Complex, room 250, 707 East Etna Road, Ottawa, Illinois, pursuant to notice of the time and place of hearing by publication in the Times of Ottawa, Illinois, might to hear evidence with respect to a petition filed by William Bayless, who is requesting a variance to decrease the east side yard setback from 70 feet to 44 feet from the center line of North 25001 First Road on the property owned by him, commonly known as 2531 East 1669th Road, Ottawa, Illinois, and legally described as follows.
This property is located at approximately 2531 East 1669 Road in South Ottawa Township. The petitioner is looking to build a detached garage and looking for a variance north into the setback, east side setback to north 2501 Road.
The original request was for a reduction from 70 foot to 44 foot. There was an objection to that original request by the Township Road Commissioner, and the zoning board made a recommendation of a 4-3 vote to recommend to approve the variance, but with a reduction in the variance request. So that variance request was reduced to a 54-foot setback from the center line of North 25 First Road. So instead of a 26-foot variance, they're requesting, or they recommended a 16-foot variance. And I believe the final ordinance does reflect that change.
Sorry, I'm looking at the back here and still have 70 feet or 54 feet.
Well, the original was 70.
The original was 70 to 54.
Oh,
41.
the original was from 70 to 44, and I believe the final ordinance was 54.
Sorry. Reflect that change. Yeah, any questions? Mr. Freeman?
Why was there thought to be an increase in traffic congestion because of this? You know, that wasn't really discussed, I guess, as far as I can recollect. It just was a vote on the finding of facts. That some of the group voted that way. I mean, they all voted the same on that. Maybe because it's,
They didn't state why they voted the way they voted, it wasn't brought up in any conversation.
so was it an NA vote then, or?
For me,
I mean, then it was just a 0 vote, they didn't even, I mean, there's a vote on it, and they all voted the same way. So,
all we're saying is they didn't demonstrate or discuss why they voted that way, we don't know.
oh, all right.
We'd just be guessing it. Or,
I mean, is there appearance of this could cause, traffic problems, or because of this? It might just be because it's a, is it an intersection, or? It's a reduction in the setback from a road, so that's
Right.
kind of the applicable finding of fact that kind of reflects, some type of obstruction to the use. I mean, that's a concern to me, if there could be possible interference in the roads and highways because of this.
is this the garage one?
Yeah, it really wasn't they didn't go into detail about that. I think there was some concern that the road commissioner. Yeah, I mean, if he had an objection to it.
The road commissioner and, had originally made an objection to it, correct me if I'm wrong, he had a meeting with you, and at some point a compromise was reached between the parties, and that was the compromise, so I don't know if they took that into account.
Yeah,
But
so
I'm just saying that was the fact that came out, that Brian did speak to the road commissioner, but again, we don't have any idea why they did that.
So because they made a bigger reduction than what was requested, right?
No. 16 instead of, they agreed on 16 instead of 26.
So originally, the road commissioner wanted to object to the whole thing. I talked to him, I asked if, there would be any reduction he'd consider. He did go back out and look at the site, and he was okay with a 16-foot reduction in the setback as opposed to a 26-foot reduction, and that's what's reflected in the recommendation by the zoning.
Any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the variance for William Bayless signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next is a resolution, that I was just, before informed to, table that issue until March.
We're just gonna not address it. We didn't get the, we don't have a signed agreement yet from the owner, so we'll just take this to March and hopefully have it by then.
Next, we have a special use permit extension request. North 14th Road, LaSalle, LLC, 18-53, special use.
Whereas on November 29, 2018, LaSalle County Board approved ordinance number 18-210, petition number 18-53 SU granting North 14th Road, LaSalle Solar LLC, Borrego, a special use to construct a solar farm with conditions. And whereas the LaSalle County zoning ordinance states in pertinent part as follows: special uses granted here under shall be transferable and shall run with the fee ownership of land unless otherwise specified by the terms of the special use. No ordinance of the county board granting a special use shall be valid for more than 2 years from the date of such ordinance approval, unless the building permit and erection or alteration of the building is started or the use is commenced within such time period. Application may be made for an extension of the time period to commence the authorized special use. Extensions in the special use schedule for 1 year period may be recommended by zoning board of appeals and granted by the county board. If the county board so stipulates when acting favorably on a special use application, the zoning board of appeals may be delegated the authority of granting extensions in the building schedule for periods of time not to exceed a total of 1 year each. Whereas North 14th Road, LaSalle Solar LLC, Borrego has requested an extension for ordinance 18-210, and on January 20th, 2021, LaSalle County Zoning Board of Appeals of the County of LaSalle, Illinois, having determined that the extension would be in the best interest of the county and its residents, recommended to the LaSalle County Board, County of LaSalle, Illinois, that the extension be granted until November 29, 2021. Now therefore be it resolved by the LaSalle County Board of the County of LaSalle, Illinois, to wit as follows: the ordinance number 18-210, petition 18-53 SU, dated November 29, 2018, granting a special use to construct a solar farm with condition is hereby extended until November 29, 2021.
Have a motion to approve the special use permit extension. First by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Stockley.
This project was one of the projects chose by the IPA Adjustable Lot Program, so probably projected to move forward. This extension request goes to 11/29/2020. And the ZBA unanimously recommended to approve the petition.
Any questions? In regard to that motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I was just informed that I might have missed something. On the 21-01 variance for William Bayless, might have forgotten a motion. We have a motion to approve that variance First by Mr. Faber, second by Ms. Corretto. You've heard the comments, everything. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. My apologies. Okay. The land use 2020 annual report.
I'll try to be brief and just get to the high points here. On page 2, for the building permit ordinance, we amended building permit fees and had a new contract with State Built, our contract building inspector. Were approved and implemented in 2020. In 2020, we had a total of 339 permits issued, which is up approximately 12.25% from the previous year. It's down about 8.4% from the previous 10 years. Once again, we had Northville as the top township with the most permits at 102 permits. And then our top 5 permit types are number 1, accessory structure, number 2, fence, 3 single-family homes, 4 above-ground, in-ground pool, and 5 residential other, which were mostly residential solar installations. We've had quite an influx of those over the last year. And then I added this other box on single-family homes to kind of start tracking that year to year. And we had a total of 47 single-family home permits this year. And that's about double from last year, or not last year, from 2019. And it wasn't since 2016 that we had more single-family home permits than last year. We collected, on page 4, we collected a net revenue of $68,992 off of construction, building, and zoning permits. That's after our payments for the building inspection contractor. We had a total of 22 zoning requests or zoning cases. We have total fees of $25,100. On page 5, we had a total of 332 total solid waste inspections. 74 or 22% of those inspections were for permitted IEPA sites, and 259, 78% were for complaints and re-inspections. Page 6. The tipping fees collected in 2020 for the calendar year were $1,021,108, or 249,340 tons. So that's probably the most tonnage we've had so far, and highest tipping fees collected to date. We did have an increase in our IEPA delegation grant agreement. That was increased to $96,147. On to the recycling events, we had a total of 3 events last year. Took in 310,927 pounds for 3 events. So collected the most in any years last year at all our events. So if you look at previous previous totals, we averaged under 100,000 pounds each of those years. On to page 7, we still are in the CRS program. Currently, we're a class of 8, so we still save unincorporated LaSalle County homeowners 10% on their flood insurance by keeping up with that program. And we issued a total of 15 floodplain permits in 2020. Page 8, we updated the natural hazard mitigation plan. It started in 2019 and it was completed in the fall, completed and adopted in the fall of 2020. And then on page 9, continued enforce vacant building ordinance. This helped us allow for the demolition of 2 abandoned buildings and for boarding and maintenance of several additional properties. And as always, we continue to update information on the website to try to make it more efficient for residents to find the information we need and continue to update our GIS studies. Any questions?
I have a question. On the single-family homes, is that brand new construction permits or is that modifications or renovations as well?
So that's all new construction. That includes the ag exempt permits as well as our regular building permits.
Any other questions? Favor?
Where are you at on the Troy Grove property cleanup?
Like the gimmick area.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably be readdressing that next land use meeting. I think still in planning stages.
Not even done yet.
It is not, it is not moved forward.
Question? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to place the land use, environmental service, construction zoning 2020 annual report on file. First by Mr. Stockley, second by Mr. Borshinius. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Next is County Highway 21-02 resolution concerning the sale or disposition of LaSalle County property located at East 23rd Road and North 22nd Road, Marseilles, Illinois, Grand Rapids Township.
Whereas the property located at East 23rd Road and North 22nd Road, Marseilles, Grand Rapids Township, Illinois, was obtained by the county for the relocation of North 22nd Road in 1972. Whereas the county of LaSalle holds said property in trust for the citizens of LaSalle County and has the power to sell and otherwise dispose of real estate in the interest of the citizens pursuant to 55 ILCS 5/5-1005. Whereas LaSalle County Board has determined that the County of LaSalle does not currently have a need for said property. Whereas idling of said property poses potential hazards and liability to the citizens of LaSalle County, and the LaSalle County Board desires to dispose of said property in a manner that is in the best interest of the citizens of LaSalle County. Whereas LaSalle County Board desires to request sealed proposals for the sale or disposition of said property that will result in the sale or disposition of the property that is in the best interest of the citizens of LaSalle County.
we were contacted by an adjacent property owner that is interested in purchasing this property. And as they investigated it, realized that the LaSalle County Highway Department owns this parcel. And so we went back and found the records in our files, and we did in fact purchase that. And so we went through the process to figure out how we could sell this remnant piece. As you can see, it's 1.27 acres. There's a stream running through it, so it's really too small to do anything other than the individual that's interested would like to grow pumpkins on this parcel. And so we'd like to advertise the sale of this property in the newspaper and on our website, and then open the sealed bids at the Finance Committee meeting on April 6th. And we would have a minimum bid required that will cover, we did have to do a survey to come up with the plat of survey and legal description, so it'll cover that cost and any cost to advertise in the newspaper.
Any questions? Okay. Please note also in the resolution is the process by which sealed bids will be offered and accepted. Any questions on that? We'll have a roll call vote. Madam Secretary.
Bush. Aye. Mr. Stockley. Mr. Emmett.
Aye.
Fredo. Aye. Mr. Walsh.
Aye.
Mr. Traeger.
Aye.
Ms. Agnecky.
Aye.
Mr. Dose.
Aye.
I thought I made a motion, but I didn't. I'll entertain a motion for the resolution concerning the sale or disposition of LaSalle County property located at East 23rd Road and North 22nd Road, Myers Sales, Illinois. May I have a motion, please? First by Mr. Rhodes, second by Mr. Walter. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hicks.
Aye.
Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Mr. Freeman.
Aye.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
Mr. Green.
Aye.
Mr. Roach.
Aye.
Mr. Walter.
Aye.
Mr. Faber.
Aye.
Ms. McNally.
Aye.
Ms. Pottinger.
Aye.
Mr. Abadaris.
Aye.
Ms. Owens.
Aye.
Mr. Bershenius.
Aye.
Mr. Small.
Aye.
Ms. Bennell.
Aye.
Mr. Ospinski.
Aye.
Mr. Savage.
Aye.
Mr. Cassup.
Aye.
Mr. Torres.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next is a resolution, County of LaSalle, Illinois, urging the governor to veto House Bill 3653 regarding criminal justice reform.
Whereas the County of LaSalle, Illinois public policy pursuant to Section 6 of Article 7 of the Illinois Constitution of 1970, as amended hereinafter referred to as county, and whereas the Illinois General Assembly passed House Bill 3653 on January 13, 2021, the bill, and whereas the bill enacts several provisions which have been referred to as criminal justice reform measures. Whereas while the county supports many of the criminal justice reform measures contained in the bill, some of the measures will have significant negative impacts on the safety of the residents of the county and the men and the women of LaSalle County Sheriff's Office and all other law enforcement officers serving communities throughout LaSalle County. Whereas a further concern is that local governments and local law enforcement agencies were not provided any meaningful opportunity to comment on or to participate in the crafting of the proposed criminal justice reform measures. Whereas the County Board of LaSalle County joins the Illinois Chiefs Association, the Illinois Sheriff's Association, the Illinois State's Attorneys Association, the Illinois Police Benevolent Protective Association, and the Fraternal Order of Police in expressing sincere disappointment over the passage of this bill during the lame duck legislative session in the early morning hours of January 13th. Whereas while not exhaustive, the following is an example of some of the provisions of the bill that are of great concern to the county board. A, elimination of cash bail. B, allowance of anonymous complaints regarding police officers to the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. C, addition of conflicting, confusing language regarding when a police officer may lawfully engage in the use of force which may result in increased injuries of police officers. D, addition of restrictions on law enforcement agencies' ability to obtain equipment. E, creation of numerous and funded mandates on local governments in Illinois. Whereas the county board finds it to be the best interest of the health, safety, and morals and general welfare of its citizens to express its genuine concern about the effects of this bill on the safety of the citizens of LaSalle County, and the request that Governor J.B. Pritzker veto House Bill number 3653. Now therefore be it resolved by the County Board of LaSalle County, Illinois as follows. Section 1, the foregoing recitals shall be and are hereby incorporated into Section 1 as if said recitals were fully set forth. Section 2, that the County of LaSalle hereby requests Governor J.B. Pritzker to veto House Bill 3653 and thereafter provides units of local government such as LaSalle County an opportunity to provide meaningful input on the effects of the legislation on the safety of county residents and the members of LaSalle County Sheriff's Office. Section 3, that the county board chairman and county clerk on behalf of the county are authorized to execute such documents and all other documents necessary to forward a copy of this resolution to Governor J.B. Pritzker and members of the County of LaSalle, Illinois legislative delegation. Section 4, if any section, paragraph, clause, or provision of this resolution shall be held invalid, said invalidity shall not affect any of the provision of this resolution. Section 5, this resolution shall be in full force and effect upon its passage and approval in the manner provided by the law.
May I have a motion to approve the resolution? First by Mr. Friedman, second by Mr. Dose. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would like to comment.
Pardon?
I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead, Mr. Meyer.
How much do you think he's gonna pay attention to this? Now, he's got 24/7 security everywhere he goes. We don't know what's going on. And the chances of him paying any attention to this is slim and none. And Slim just got on the stage to let down. So, but at least we're making our voices heard. But I wouldn't be hopeful that he'll pay any attention to it. That's my comment.
I'm not holding my breath on it. Any other comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next is an ordinance authorizing the disposal of personal property owned by LaSalle County.
Whereas, in the opinion of the County Board of LaSalle County, Illinois, it is no longer necessary, useful, or in the best interest of the County of LaSalle to retain ownership of the personal property described in this ordinance. Whereas it has been determined by the LaSalle County Property Committee to dispose of said personal property in the manner described in this ordinance. Therefore be ordained by LaSalle County Board as follows. Section 1, recitals. The foregoing recital are hereby incorporated onto this ordinance as findings of the LaSalle County Property Committee and the LaSalle County Board. Section 2, disposal of surplus property. LaSalle County Property Committee and the LaSalle County Board finds that personal property described in Exhibit A attached to this ordinance and by this reference incorporated into this ordinance, surplus property is no longer necessary or useful to the county. Thus, the LaSalle County Board Chairman is hereby authorized to direct the sale or disposal of the surplus property in the manner most appropriate to the county. The surplus property shall be sold or disposed of in as is condition. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect after its passage, approval, publication, and effective form in the manner provided by law.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve said ordinance? First by Mr. Borsenius,
Second.
who is that?
Tom Walsh.
I'm Walsh, second. Any questions or comments regarding the ordinance? We'll have a roll call, please, to do with being a property being disposed of.
Mr. Borsenius?
Aye.
Mr. Small?
Aye.
Ms. Brunel? Mr. Ospinski?
Aye.
Mr. Savage?
Aye.
Mr. Casa?
Aye.
Mr. Torres?
Aye.
Ms. Bush? Aye. Mr. Stockley?
Aye.
Mr. Emmett?
Aye.
Ms. Corretto?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Aye.
Mr. Traeger?
Aye.
Mr. Nucky?
Aye.
Mr. Dose?
Aye.
Mr. Hicks?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Freeman?
Aye.
Mr. Myers?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mr. Faber?
Aye.
Ms. McNally?
Aye.
Ms. Pottinger?
Aye.
Mr. Urbanderas?
Aye.
Ms. Owens? Aye. All ayes.
Motion carried. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the execution of intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Central Management Services for the use of the iBid online auction system.
Whereas the County of LaSalle possesses various items of property that should be declared as surplus and unwanted. Whereas the Department of Central Management Services, CMS, has developed an iBid online auction, iBid, which allows the general public through the internet to bid on government surplus items and monitor their bids throughout the duration of a weekly auction. Whereas the terms and conditions and costs of the County of LaSalle to utilize the iBid online auction site is set forth in a proposed intergovernmental agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A. Now therefore be it resolved by the LaSalle County acting by and through the LaSalle County Board as follows. Section 1, that LaSalle County approves and authorizes the County Board Chairman to execute on behalf of the County of LaSalle as an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Central Management Services in the form attached hereto as Exhibit A relating to the use of the iBid online auction system. Section 2, that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
Motion to adopt said resolution. First by Mr. Torres, second by Mr. Small. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, we have a resolution approving the contract for roof replacement at the downtown courthouse.
bids for the replacement of the roof of LaSalle County Courthouse downtown located at 119 West Madison Street, Ottawa, Illinois. Whereas the County of LaSalle received 12 bids for the project, and said bids were reviewed by LaSalle, Curie, and Allstat Architects Ltd., along with members of LaSalle County Property Committee. Whereas based upon said review and with advice of LaSalle, Curie, and Allstat Architects Ltd., the LaSalle County Property Committee recommended awarding the project to Sterling Commercial Roofing based out of Sterling, Illinois, as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the project at a cost of $172,400, and now therefore be it resolved by the County of LaSalle, acting by and throughout County Board as follows. Section 1, that Sterling Commercial Roofing is hereby determined to be the low responsive and responsible bidder for the roof replacement project at the LaSalle County Downtown Courthouse. Section 2, that the terms, conditions of the proposed contract attached to as Exhibit A between the County of LaSalle, Illinois and Sterling Commercial Roofing at a cost of $172,400 is hereby approved. That the LaSalle County Board Chairman is hereby authorized to execute the same. Section 3, that this resolution shall be in full force and effect upon its passage and approval. Section 4, any resolution or part thereof which is in conflict with any term or provision of this resolution is hereby revoked to any extent of any such conflict.
A motion to adopt said resolution. First by Ms. Barretto, second by Mr. Emmett. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Mr. Freeman?
Usually there's an attached, shows all the bids. I'm not finding it. I like to see who all bid on it.
Yeah.
It says 12.
There was 12, I apologize, I'm not sending it attached.
That's it, Randy.
That was a low bid, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Any other questions? Any other comments, Mr. Freeman?
No.
Hearing none, let a roll call vote.
Mr. Traeger? Ms. Zagnecky?
Aye.
Mr. Doze?
Aye.
Mr. Hicks?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Freeman?
Aye.
Mr. Myers?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Roach?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mr. Faber?
Aye.
Ms. McNally?
Aye.
Ms. Pottinger?
Aye.
Mr. Roderis?
Aye.
Ms. Owens? Mr. Rosinius?
Aye.
Mr. Small?
Aye.
Ms. Brunel? Mr. Ospinski?
Aye.
Mr. Savage?
Aye.
Mr. Cassup?
Aye.
Mr. Torres?
Aye.
Ms. Bush?
Aye.
Mr. Stockley?
Aye.
Mr. Emmett?
Aye.
Ms. Corretto?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Aye.
Hear me now?
Mr. Traeger?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, we're entertaining a motion to amend LaSalle County Board rules. Just informed that we need to table that
Let me, I apologize,
for review.
John had asked me to look at this, I looked at it, it didn't seem to be out of whack, but then I I'm not checking emails up here, but I just noticed, this is your salary, and that has to be fixed 180 days prior to, so if it goes into effect now, we're in violation of, 5/2/2008. It's just it's premature. So I would refer back to committee, and then we'll figure it out next time, but I just think it's too soon. Not a bad concept, but that's, I mean, you don't need, there's no action.
Next is, resolution for appointing commissioner of the Adams Earl Drainage District number 1.
Whereas a vacancy exists in the office of Commissioner in the Drainage District number 1, Adams and Earl, whereas Barry Bernard has expressed his interest in being appointed as a Commissioner of the Adams Earl Drainage District number 1, now therefore be resolved by the County of LaSalle, acting by and through the LaSalle County Board, that Barry Bernard is hereby appointed as a Commissioner of Adams Earl Drainage District number 1 for a 3-year term beginning on February 12, 2021, and expiring on August 31st, 2023, or thereafter until a qualified successor is appointed.
The situation here, there was 3 people that were interested. I had interviews with 2 of them. One of them I had an interview on the phone. That particular gentleman, Mr. Glasscock, is a farm manager up in the area, but not a landowner. And I expressed to him that I prefer to appoint a landowner in the area. And interviewed the other 2 nominees, and I thought it best, Barry Bernard owns land in the ditch area, Bud Farms, Babson Farms in the western area, and due to that relationship on the western part of the sub-district, which was formed recently by the court, I felt it would give the west area representation on that commission. And so therefore, that's who I propose to appoint. We have a motion to appoint Barry Bernard to the Adams Earl Drainage District number 1. First by Mr. Small, Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
Second by Mr. Lee. Any questions in that regard?
What is the law on how they're appointed? I mean, we have to make the appointment, but do the landowners in that area have a vote?
No. I mean, there's various mechanisms that in play in that area of the law that could afford some other opportunities. The way this one's set up and the timing of it is such that, in my 8 years, it's never happened, and I used to have some drainage districts that I represented in the private practice. Never been kind of a concept, quite frankly, it's sometimes hard to find it. But in this situation, there was 3 names that came to Don's attention, and he did a lot of work in interviewing and things of that nature. But essentially, it's set up when the district's set up as whether or not it's an appointed position or an elected position.
Okay.
And this one was appointed.
Question?
Yes.
Should not the title sub-district be listed? I don't see it in the document of the resolution.
Well, the situation that is involved with, all 3 commissioners, even if there's, put it this way, all 3 commissioners represent the drainage district as a whole. They're not specific to, there is some representation that was recommended by the judge. Nevertheless, those 3 commissioners still represent the district as a whole, even though they may be in that sub-district.
So then this just carries through for this one time, and then it's open again as far as where the person can be from. Would that be correct or not?
Well, yes and no. Go ahead.
I guess, first and foremost, they could be anywhere. What Don has done is taking into consideration Judge Doherty's recommendations that were made in the court decision. And, you know, probably correctly so. There's nothing in the law that requires him to do this, but the judge, in making a ruling as to other issues, recommended it. And out of respect and deference to him, having heard the evidence that was presented, I think Don took that into consideration.
That answer your question?
Well, my concern was just the fact that there was, you know, some record of the ruling, you know, in relationship to this. But if it's not necessary, I guess that's the end of the question.
Yeah, it was a recommendation. With all due respect to the court, they have no authority over that aspect of these things. So therefore, he made a recommendation, not an order. And I don't think it's necessary that it be referred to.
Okay.
Any other questions? May I have a motion to appoint Barry Bernard as Commissioner of the Adams Rural Drainage District #1? Or did I? Oh, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Abstain.
Abstain?
Abstain.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay, now we have some appointments to finish up. The first one is the Business Employment Skills Team.
Congratulations,
Whereas the terms of office, Randy Freeman as a member of the Business Employment Skills Team Incorporated, BEST, expired November 30th, 2020, whereas Randy Freeman has indicated a willingness in being appointed as a member of the Business Employment Skills Team Incorporated, BEST, whereas the Committee on Appointment and Legislation and Rules Committee recommends Randy Freeman be appointed as the member of the LaSalle County Board to be the LaSalle County representative on the Business Employment Skills Team Incorporated, and therefore be it resolved by the LaSalle County Board that Randy Freeman is hereby appointed as a member of the Business Employment Skills Team Incorporated for a term expiring November 30th, 2022, or thereafter, a successor is appointed and qualified.
We have a motion to approve the appointment of Randy Freeman as Best Employment Skills Team. First by Mr. Green, second by Ms. Pottinger. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next is Court Appointed Special Advocate Board.
Whereas the term of office of Brian Dose as a member of the Court-Appointed Special Advocate Board expired on November 30th, 2020, whereas Brian Dose has indicated a willingness in being reappointed to the Court-Appointed Special Advocate Board, and whereas the Committee on Appointment and Legislation and Rules Committee recommends Brian Dose be reappointed as a member of the Court-Appointed Special Advocate Board. Therefore, be it resolved by the LaSalle County Board that Brian Dose is hereby reappointed as a member of the Court-Appointed Special Advocate Board for a term expiring November 30th, 2022, or thereafter, a successor is appointed and qualified.
I have a motion to accept Brian Dose as a Court-Appointed Special Advocate Board Committee member. First by Mr. Emmett, second by Mr. Meyer. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next is the appointment for LaSalle County Health
of Luann Corretto as a member of the LaSalle County Health Department Board expired on November 30th, 2020. Whereas Luann Corretto has indicated a willingness in being reappointed as a member of the LaSalle County Health Department Board. Whereas the Committee on Appointment and Legislation and Rules Committee recommends Luann Corretto be reappointed as a member of the LaSalle County Health Department Board. Therefore, be it resolved that the LaSalle County Board does hereby reappoint Luann Corretto as a member of the LaSalle County Health Board for a 2-year term expiring November 30th, 2022, or thereafter, the successor is appointed and qualified.
We have a motion to accept Joanne Corretto as LaSalle County Health Department Board Committee member. First by Mr. Meyer, second by Ms. Bush. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, we have LaSalle County Mental Health Board 708 Board appointment.
Whereas the term of office of Tina Bush as a member of the LaSalle County Mental Health 708 Board expired on November 30th, 2020. Whereas Tina Bush has indicated willingness in being appointed as a member of LaSalle County Mental Health 708 Board, and whereas the Committee on Appointment and Legislation and Rules Committee recommends the appointment of Tina Bush as a member of the LaSalle County Board to be the LaSalle County's representative on LaSalle County Mental Health 708 Board. Therefore, be it resolved by the LaSalle County Board that Tina Bush is hereby appointed as a member of the LaSalle County Mental Health 708 Board for a term expiring November 30th, 2022, or thereafter until a successor is appointed and qualified.
I have a motion to accept Tina Bush as the LaSalle County Mental Health Board, Mental Health 708 Board Committee member. First by Ms. Corretto, second by Mr. Roach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, we have the Tri-County Council appointments.
Whereas the terms of office of Randy Freeman and David Torres as members of the Tri-County Opportunity Council expired November 30th, 2020. Whereas Randy Freeman and David Torres have indicated the willingness in being appointed as to the Tri-County Opportunity Council, whereas the Committee on Appointment and Legislation and Rules Committee has recommended that Randy Freeman and David Torres be appointed as LaSalle County's representatives to the Tri-County Opportunity Council. Therefore, be resolved by the LaSalle County Board hereby appoints Randy Freeman and David Torres as members of the Tri-County Opportunity Council for a 2-year term expiring November 30th, 2022, or thereafter, their successors are appointed and qualified.
I have a motion to accept Randy Freeman and David Torres as Tri-County Council Committee members. First by Mr. Stockley, second by Mr. Small. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, we have the U of I Extension Service Committee appointments.
Whereas in 2001, the University of Illinois Extension formed the University of Illinois Extension Multi-County Unit Council Board, Unit 8, to serve the counties of LaSalle, Vero, Marshall, and Putnam. Whereas the University of Illinois Extension and Outreach is requesting the appointment of 2 LaSalle County Board members to the University of Illinois Extension Multi-County Unit Council Board, Unit 8, whereas the County Committee on Appointment and Legislation and Rules Committee recommends appointing Doug Stackley and Elmer Walter as members of the University of Illinois Extension Multi-County Unit Council Board, Unit 8. Therefore, be it resolved by the LaSalle County Board, does hereby appoint Doug Stackley and Elmer Walter as members of the University of Illinois Extension Multi-County Unit Council Board, Unit 8, beginning December 1st, 2020, expiring November 30th, 2022, or thereafter until their successor is appointed and qualified.
We have a motion to accept U of I Extension Service Committee members.
So moved.
Elmer Walter. First by Mr. Lee, was that second? Ms. Bush. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. carried. We have miscellaneous reports. LaSalle County investments, presented by our treasurer, Jim Spellich.
Miscellaneous correspondence reports. Correspondence from County Treasurer regarding the investment report dated January 15, 2021 was submitted. Correspondence from County Treasurer regarding the investment report dated February 4th, 2021 was submitted. Correspondence from Ameren in regard to investigating under the supervision of the IEPA, the property located between the former West Cox facility in Peru and 2nd Street in LaSalle. Recent investigation identified the presence of contaminants that are likely related to a historical operation of the former manufactured gas plant that produced gas for the use by surrounding community from approximately 1888 to 1902. It was demolished in 1909, was submitted. Correspondence from the Illinois Department of Transportation dated January 25th, 2021 in regards to the acceptance of contract number 87645 with D Construction in the amount of $3,010.74 for the improvement to replace the bridge over Mission Creek located 2.5 miles southeast of Sheridan was submitted. Correspondence from the Illinois Department of Transportation dated January 30th, 2021 in regards to the acceptance of contract number 87648 with Advanced Asphalt Company in the amount of $2,468,786.80 for paving, widening, and resurfacing from US 6 to the frontage road south of I-80 was submitted. From the Illinois Department of Transportation Maintenance Engineering cost summaries for various maintenance projects, including seal coating, patching gravel, culverts, etc., for several road districts within the county was submitted. Correspondence from LaSalle County Public Safety totals for the February 2021 was submitted.
Entertain a motion to file the report. File the reports as read. Any questions? Go ahead. First by Mr. Small. Second by Ms. Bush. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We have a motion to adjourn the meeting to March 8th, 2021, at 1 p.m. and